Okay, so in today's webinar, we're going to be talking about email list building, and that is something that I've been doing myself a lot actually, and other members as well are building email lists, and there's a lot to it, but at the same time, it's a great way to build a long-term online affiliate marketing business because you actually end up owning something at the end of the day, and that's very important when you're an affiliate, because if you're only running offers for other people, eventually you're going to run dry and you're not going to have anything to show for it aside from maybe a large bank account, which is nice, but you'll never really have an asset online that you own aside from your website, which gets traffic and stuff like that. But it's always nice to have an email list because that is something that you can actually add a lot of value to your website, especially if you want to go down the road and sell your website. It comes with its own email list and everything and all the leads, and you can always monetize your list and get traffic from your list constantly. So that is why we're constantly training on building email lists, and today we're going to go over that in a short webinar, and there'll be more content to this, and we of course have courses dedicated specifically to this, but we figured it's one of those topics that merits a lot more training. So we're doing that today, and I'll let Bill take over from here and we'll go on with the webinar.
All right, guys, I hope you're excited. I'm going to dig deep into email marketing today, and I think it's something you guys should all be doing, even if you're not focused specifically on email marketing, but you have a website. There's always opportunities to list build, and I'm going to get into it and show you exactly why you should be doing it and step by step how you should be doing it. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys. All right, guys, so fast methods to get started in email marketing. We're going to talk about a few different things. We're going to talk about what email marketing actually is. We're going to look at some basics. We're going to look at the topic of lists, follow-up sequences. I'm going to show you guys exactly what you need to get started. And then I'm going to fill you guys in on a case study that's going to kind of applies everything I'm about to tell you. And it's currently successful. We'll get more into that. And also, I'm going to give you guys a special offer that is available for today only. So let's get started. What is email marketing? So essentially, email marketing is the use of email to promote a product or a business. It is used to build relationships with potential customers, as well as keep current customers informed and updated on your brand, promotions, products, and more. So a lot of times within CPA, you only have a limited opportunity to engage with the end user. So somebody sees your ad, they land on your landing page, they're either going to convert or they're not. So you have a very limited space, and you really have to have a great landing page if you want to get a decent conversion rate on the sale. Now, with email marketing, you don't necessarily have a limited window. Doing this, you can actually promote to them over a long period of time, and during that time frame, you can build a trust factor, which is going to greatly increase your conversion rate when you do decide to pitch them a sale. Email marketing is used to build trust with customers over time in order to turn them into repeat customers, which is essentially what I had just said. It is also an effective way to keep your customers informed about new sales or promotions you're running. So a lot of times, it's great for finding new customers, but it's also great once you already have them, say they've already purchased something from you, whether it's a CPA product or whether it's a digital product. If they're happy and you're continuing to provide them with great content, there's a good chance they're going to become repeat customers. So it's not just a one-time thing where they click your ad, hit the landing page, and boom, they either buy or they don't. This gives you the ability to build an asset, like Joey had said, and build a nice list going forward. All right, so email marketing, is it still effective? Some individuals assume that email marketing is outdated now that we have more sophisticated advertising platforms like Google and Facebook. This is completely false. Email marketing has been around since the inception of the inbox. It is still an incredibly powerful marketing tool. It is more effective now than ever, considering how many users are online in 2019. This is why there are massive numbers of US retailers who consider email marketing one of the most effective customer acquisition tactics. And it's true. You think that like email's old, there's way better ways to do it, but really email has evolved and integrated with these other methods to really kind of beef it up and allow us to do things we weren't able to do previously, especially with the list building side of it. It's never been as easy as it is today to build your own list. So now we're going to cover some of the basics. These are some of the elements that you're going to need or you're going to have to familiarize yourself with if you're going to get into email marketing. So the number one thing is you're going to need product or products to promote. So CPA offers and a niche. So the first thing you guys need to do is get your head into what do I want to promote? What area or what market is going to be, I guess you say, lucrative enough for me to try to build a list around, build a brand around, and try to sell products. I recommend getting into evergreen niches, and the reason why is because they're very big markets. There's lots of scalability, and you know, if you're going to build a brand, you're going to put the time into building a list. You don't want to focus on something that's not going to be relevant in a year. It'd be a waste of your time, and you'll have to retarget those guys to something different. So by selecting something that's evergreen and something you know is going to be around, it gives you that ability to have the longevity you're looking for when you're list building. Some of those may be skincare, weight loss is the biggest one, gaming, recipes. There's a million things that you could dive into. So you definitely want to do your product research and your niche research before you do anything. Another thing you're going to look at is the email list. So you got your product, and now you need a list of people to promote or to send emails to. So there's two options. You can either buy them or you can generate them and create an opt-in page yourself. Next, you're going to need a mailing client. This is a platform that gives you the ability to send out mass emails. A lot of guys I've seen in Powerhouse, a lot of the newer guys have been just collecting emails via word of mouth, and they're literally going in their Gmail and emailing them one at a time. There's a million problems with that. When you get a big list, where you have thousands of records, you're going to be sitting there all day within Gmail sending emails. And another factor is as well, these clients like Aweber and MailChimp and others, they have what we call whitelisted IP addresses. So the whole goal when you send an email is you want an inbox. You don't want to end up in the junk mail. Now, depending on where the email is coming from and how, I guess, the mail servers perceive it determines where that's going to end up. If you're just mass sending people Gmails, chances are you're going to end up in their junk mail a lot of the time. So Aweber, MailChimp, there's other platforms out there. I believe MailChimp starts you off with a free trial where you get so many emails you can send. And Aweber, I believe, is obviously a paid service, but it's much more robust, and I definitely recommend it. So you're going to need a mailing client, and you're going to need some follow-up emails. So after you have your list, you have your product, you know, you're not just going to automatically send them an offer link. And I know a lot of people do that, and you can look at your junk mail on any email account you have, and you can see it's just full of people spamming offer links. So we don't want to do that. The whole purpose of this is to build a trust factor over time. So when they do buy, you know, we have a greater chance of success, and you're not going to end up in their junk mail. So we need a sequence of emails that we're going to send them over time, and we don't want to flood them with sales stuff. There's content we have to send as well. We'll get into that as we get further into the webinar. But yeah, you're definitely going to need some follow-up emails. So with this alone, if you literally have a product or a CPA offer, you have an email list, whether you've generated it yourself or whether you bought it, you have a means of mailing with a mailing client, and you have follow-up emails to send them, you're ready to go. You could start mailing immediately. And you may also notice that I have written or PLR next to follow-up emails. The reason why is you could write your own emails if you like, or you can look into something called PLR or private label rights products. So there's guys out there that are great copywriters and are great at writing up emails, and they will write something up and sell it to you that you can use. There's no rights to it, so it's basically yours. And a lot of the time, if you're starting out, it's beneficial to purchase some PLR products versus trying to reinvent the wheel yourself. It may be a little bit easier, like if you have some type of specialty, if you're a fitness guy and you're heavy into fitness and whatever, you may be able to write your own emails because you're knowledgeable about the content. But a lot of times we're promoting things that we really don't know that much about. So it's always better to find somebody that does. And you can Google PLR email follow-ups, and there's 100 sites out there that can sell you some. So I'm going to get into recommended. This is just the bare minimum above. Now we're going to talk about things I highly recommend. You want a blog. And there's a few reasons for this, but the main reason is there's a way that you can recoup a lot of your costs with a blog. When you're sending these follow-up emails, it's good to send them content from your blog. The users are going to hit that page, and we'll get into exactly how you can monetize it, but a blog can be monetized fairly easily. Now, you're also going to need Google AdSense, which is what I was about to say. So there's a method with your blog and Google AdSense that you can recoup a lot of your initial costs when you're list building or you're buying your list. I'd highly recommend opt-in pages. So you can create or outsource these. Now, if you're buying lists, you're not going to need an opt-in page. The opt-in page is designed to capture the email from the user. So if you want to build your own list, you're certainly going to need opt-in pages. You can create them yourself if you're decent with creating pages. One option that I find fairly powerful is Optimized Press within WordPress. There is a fee associated with it, but you can pretty much click and drag and make opt-in pages with ease. So again, if you're not great at creating content, outsourcing is always an option. And you're going to need a paid traffic source, I recommend, if you're not buying your lists and you're building your opt-in pages. So there's got to be a source of traffic that's going to get to your opt-in page in order for them to even opt in the first place. So some sources like Facebook, Native, and Google are options for you. So I want to talk about lists for a few minutes. So again, you can either buy or you can build, and I want to go over some pros and cons to both. So looking at buying pros, if you're going to buy a list, some of the pros would be that there's many lists available and they're available in many niches. So it's not hard to find. There's a pretty big market for email lists right now. So another thing is you can start immediately. As soon as you buy these lists, you can get plugged in and go. It's not like you have to wait time to build your list. You can immediately start mailing if you're buying. It's going to cost you lower cost per record in the beginning. What I mean is per email address, whatever the actual price may be broken down, you're going to pay a lot less starting out. But as you get into building in the long term, it gets cheaper than buying. So out of the gate, you're going to pay less per record. And you have greater scalability using buying power. So if you happen to have $5,000 sitting there that you want to buy email data, you're going to be able to buy a lot of data. You're going to be able to email fast. And as long as you have that cash, there's always going to be other lists available for you to buy. Now, let's look at some of the cons. Poor quality. You have no idea how these records were collected, whether it was through a great opt-in page, whether it was even related to your niche. When you're buying, you're really rolling the dice, and 9 times out of 10, you're going to end up with poor quality. You're going to get saturated lists. If this gentleman that you met online happens to sell you an email list, who else has he sold that list to? And what are those other users doing to that list? If that list is abused and it's being sent out to, if you got 50 guys emailing the same list, it's going to get saturated real fast and you're not going to get the effect you want. Non-compliant lists, so no opt-ins. So there's a lot of ways online that people will scrape emails, and these are emails that never opted into any page. They never agreed to receive any type of email, and it's completely illegal to email these guys. It's spam. A lot of times you'll see guys doing this in the beginning, but it doesn't last very long, and a lot of the times, again, you're going to have some poor quality with that. There's no consistency in your data. You could buy a list one day from one guy. You could email out on it. It could do well. The next day, you could buy a list from him again. It could be completely different. Again, you don't know how these lists are being generated, and there's no guarantee that it's going to be the same every time you buy it. And of course, the best lists are not for sale. Any guy that's generating a massive list, it's worth more to him to keep it and to monetize it in the ways that I'm about to show you than to sell it to somebody else. So a lot of times, if you're buying a list, chances are the guy behind it, if it's a good list, has already used it, milked it, and he's done with it. So you're not going to get the high quality best lists by buying. You're only going to get that by building. And IP deliverability reputation. So here's another thing. If you have a bunch of non-compliant emails that didn't opt in, or even depending on some other factors, your mailing clients, whether it's Aweber rather, or whether it's MailChimp, they're eventually going to blacklist you from sending emails. There's different ways that they can determine whether these people have opted in or not. It depends on the complaints and how many times they're marked as spam. There's a lot of factors, but if you're just emailing somebody and you don't really know where the list came from, you can really damage your ability to send emails overall with your mailing client. So now let's take a look at building pros and cons. So one pro to building your list is they're great quality. You control every aspect of the opt-in. You know exactly what they're expecting, what was on the opt-in page, so you can deliver that. And in turn, the quality is going to be there for the list. You have exclusive data. This list you're building is yours. Nobody else has access to it. So that gives you a huge advantage moving forward. I mean, some of these guys may have opted into other people's lists, but the combination of email addresses you have is unique to you, and it's completely exclusive data. You're going to get fresh data daily. So if you have an opt-in page that's set up on Facebook, let's say, and you're spending $50 a day on Facebook, every day you're going to have fresh people coming into your mailing list. So this gives you the ability to, I guess, have more of a long-term strategy with your list. If you just decide that I'm going to buy for 2 weeks and stop buying traffic to your opt-in page, then what's going to happen is over time, and this just goes with the nature of email lists, people are going to opt out. Your list is going to dwindle over time. And if you're not actively bringing in new opt-ins, then eventually you're going to be left with nothing. So it's always good to continuously buy traffic for your opt-in page, so you have that advantage of having fresh data every day. Compliance emailing. So again, like I mentioned before, people have to opt in order to be legally sent an email by CAN-SPAM laws. So if you're using your opt-in page, you know that everything that you're doing is 100% compliant. You don't have to worry about where these records came from and how they were obtained. And of course, as you optimize your campaign to build your list through your opt-in page, your costs are going to get, they're going to reduce over time. So the more you optimize, the cheaper you're going to pay per lead. And Joey has a great case study, which we're going to talk about later. And it's a perfect example of this, how he started out at a fairly high rate. And now it's fairly cheap. So you'll see that as we move forward. And again, too, reputation plus and trust equals higher click-through rate. So if you have a list and you're the only one mailing to them, you have the opportunity to mold them in their opinion of you, whichever way you want. So if you're really being good to your list, you're providing great content, you're going to have a greater click-through rate, or sorry, conversion rate than you would if you were just buying data. So let's look at some of the cons. It's going to be a slower start if you're going to build your own lists. But again, the benefits greatly outweigh the cons, so it's much better to list build, even though it is a slower start. You're going to need some tech skills, and if you don't have the tech skills, it's fine, but you're going to have to outsource to somebody who does. Like, you're going to need to be able to set up your landing or your opt-in pages. You're going to need to know how to integrate your form with your mail client. And this may sound difficult. It really, really isn't. And inside Powerhouse Affiliate, we have multiple resources to help you do that. But, you know, for somebody that's just trying to get into this, do know that there are some tech skills that are required. A higher budget's going to be required as well, starting out, because you are buying or building your own list. Again, like I mentioned, leads are expensive when you start until you optimized your campaign, and over time you can, I guess, decrease the price or lower the costs of your leads. Let's talk about the follow-up sequence. So we went over lists, we went over the pros and cons to buying and building. Let's look at the follow-up. So a follow-up sequence is a strategic, predetermined series of emails designed to build a trust relationship with your list. Sending content from your blog will allow you to earn via AdSense. So that's another thing that we're going to get into as we go. But yeah, when you're sending out different content through your follow-up email, it can't, again, be it's just CPA links. You have to send valuable content related to your niche. So if I was doing skincare and I had an opt-in page that says here's 10 tricks to making your skin look younger and whatever, when they opt in, I'm going to provide that content. But going forward, I know they like skincare. They've opted in, they must. So I want to provide them with blog content related to skincare. They're going to like the content, or they should like the content if it's related to what the opt-in was surrounded around. And, you know, moving forward, they're going to have a trust factor when they open up your email. And again, sales pages for your CPA offers and products. So again, even if you're at that point, you've massaged your list, you've built that trust factor, they're happy. You don't want to just send them a link. I mean, some cases, there's some nice offer pages that this works for, but you still want to design a little bit of a sales page. And one trick is to kind of make it a blog post. That way they've been reading your blog content, and by the time they get to the sales page, it looks like the blog still. It's not just some random advertorial that you grabbed from a CPA network. Yeah. So I'm going to show you guys an example of a follow-up sequence. I'm not going to get heavy into the content of it, but I want you guys to kind of get an idea of what I mean by a series of predetermined strategic emails. This is actually a list or a follow-up sequence from one of Joey's campaigns. I blurted out the headlines because I don't want anybody taking them. Joey would kill me, I'm sure. So you can see here, this is sent immediately, this very first email. And his open rate is 41.2%. So roughly half of the people that have opted in, they immediately get this email, and 40% have opened. And one day after this message, you can see he sends out a second one. This one is content related. I'm not going to give you the headline, but I do know it is blog related, to build a blog. 22.5% open rate. And these are fairly decent numbers. If we take a look, you can see it does decline a bit, but like even after by the fifth email, he's still looking at 24.1% open rate. So all this information, in a sense.
If I could say something there, Bill.
Yeah, let me mute my mic real fast, Joey.
Yeah, so as you can see on message 6, the open rate went down to 7.5. So one of the keys to getting your open rate higher, and I think Bill might have already be going to cover this, but I'll just say it now. As you can see, it goes from 7.5 on message 6, and then it goes up again to 7.2. And I covered this in my last case study in Facebook as well on similar stats on another, I think it was another campaign. We have a few campaigns like this running in the back end, so I'm not sure exactly which one this is. But every time I see a lower open rate and then a higher one right after, it's basically telling you that your headline or your email subject basically is what people see when they open their Gmail accounts. They see the headline. I call it a headline. People call it a subject, but it's basically your marketing message. And headlines are one of the key performance pieces for your marketing. And I've proven it in the other case studies I've done in Powerhouse Affiliate, and we have some other training as well that shows this clearly. Just by changing a headline or the subject of your email, you can drastically increase and decrease your open rates. And that is the first metric you need to really understand, because if they're not opening your emails, they're not clicking, and that'll be the next metric, which is extremely important. But the first thing they have to do is definitely open your email, and that actually starts with getting your email into their inbox. And Bill had already covered that earlier, the advantages of using a service that has whitelisted servers, so that you are getting into the inbox first. So you want to check your inbox rate, then you check your open rate, and then you're going to look at your click rate. And then after that, it's all about conversions and optimizations in the back end. So anyway, I just wanted to say that quickly.
And I mean, Joey has extensive experience with these follow-ups. So we're going to see kind of some of what he's been able to do as we move forward in this presentation. Just give me a second. I'm going to get back to my screen. There we go. Okay. So again, like I mentioned, it's a matter of trust. You don't want to be slamming these guys every time with CPA offers. You want to get them with good blog content, and content has always been king. It's what people want. People don't go online to look at ads. They go online to consume content, whether it's video, article, you name it. Another thing too, like Joey mentioned with the headlines or the subject lines, you know, it's pretty easy to see from here. Like if Joey had 22.5 here, and this was down to 6%, we would know that this headline is complete trash. And you can see here this 20-ish, and it's kind of 16-ish. Like this area is more or less his baseline. So we know that his headlines for most of these are decent, and it's really based on the quality of his list at that point. So I mean, if we see anything that's kind of at a touch like this one here, 7.5, we know that it's not the list, it's actually probably the headline, because we have the other data to compare it with. So I'm not going to get too heavy into follow-up sequences, other than the fact that if you can't write them, I highly recommend buying them. I know it's a cost up front, but we're not all content creators here. Sometimes it's great if you have knowledge in that subject, but 9 times out of 10, you're promoting something that you really don't know a lot about. So moving forward, I'm going to get into actually getting started. I'm going to give out a list, and then I'm going to get into some steps. These steps are not actual, go here, click here, but they're phases on what you're going to have to focus on. And each of these phases, we have extensive content within Powerhouse Affiliate that will tell you step-by-step screenshot what to do. So this is what you're going to need. You're going to need web hosting. 100%. If you're going to host a website, you clearly need web hosting. There's many of them out there. We offer free hosting to our members within powerhouseaffiliate.com. You're going to need a domain name as well. So your domain name is going to be more related to your niche. So if you decide that you're going to get into skincare, maybe healthyskinnews.com, or maybe even something blog related, you don't want to focus too heavy on a sales oriented domain. You want to get more of a authority niche type of thing, like healthyskinreport.com, something along those lines to a degree. I mean, that may not even be perfect, but yeah, you definitely want a domain that's related to your niche. You're going to need a mailing client, like I mentioned, Aweber, MailChimp. There's 100 out there. It's probably 1,000. You're going to have to pick one and stick with it. WordPress blog. So it's simple to install WordPress. We have extensive training inside Powerhouse on how to install that. It's the fastest, easiest way for you to set up a content site or a blog with very minimal work. It's very easy. You're going to need some opt-in pages and a thank you page. So the reason why I say thank you page is immediately after these guys have clicked and decided to opt into your list, they're going to be presented with something after that. Usually it says, thank you, you guys, thank you for opting or subscribing to our content, your freebie or whatever's been sent out, whatever you're going to, I guess, whatever carrot you're going to dangle. We're going to get into that as we move forward on what to use as bait, I guess, to get these guys to opt in. So after they've opted in, they're going to see a thank you page. Now, this is an opportunity for you to push a CPA offer immediately. It's not always going to convert. I mean, in the most scenarios, it's probably not, but it's not going to hurt you to try to get that sale right then and there. You know they're interested, they're there. Let's sell to them. If they don't buy, we can still catch them later through our follow-up sequence. So. Freebie ebook. So this is the thing. This is the carrot I mentioned. So, people can just opt in for tips, and that's this and that's that. That's not really anything that's going to grab their attention. So one thing you can do is purchase or create an ebook. Now, just like PLR follow-up emails, there's PLR ebooks out there. Literally ebooks created surrounding different niches, whatever you want. There's weight loss ones, there's diet ones, and they're completely free to use as far as royalty wise. You pay the money up front and it is your product. Now, it's not as simple as just buying it and sending it out there. You do want to edit it, you do want to change it, and it's not a bad idea to include a few of your offer links with inside the ebook as well. But the ebook itself is the content that's going to get them to opt in. As immediately after they opt in, your very first email that comes from your follow-up should be whatever you offered them in the beginning to opt in. You're going to need follow-up emails, like I mentioned. Write them yourself or PLR if you're not super comfortable or knowledgeable on the subject. You're going to need a paid traffic account, whether that is Google or Facebook or whatever. I personally wouldn't hit Google just because of the nature of Google and what you're doing. You don't want to be paying $3 or $4 or $5 a lead from Google, and it could even be more expensive than that. And they don't like affiliates. Like, you're not really going to be able to get just a great opt-in page up on Google and approved very easily. One tactic you could do, and I see a lot of people doing this, is they'll have their blog articles featured on Google. And as soon as somebody hits their blog article, they'll have an iframe that pops up and it says, would you like to opt in and join our list? So instead of having just a pure opt-in page that says, you know, join and get this, they'll actually have their content there. People can be on their blog, and then the pop-up will come up. So that is another angle to I guess, build your list without just sending directly to an opt-in page. You're going to need a click tracker. BMob, CPV Lab, Thrive, Volume, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you decide. BMob is free. We always recommend it, and it's featured in literally all of our training inside Powerhouse Affiliate. But you're going to need to track your click-through rate on your opt-in pages. And there's a lot of other factors as well. I'm not going to get into them too deep within this webinar, but there's extensive knowledge out there and training courses within Powerhouse that covers tracking extensively. And of course, you're going to need a CPA offer. So that's the other thing I want to get into a little bit is you don't want to get some CPA offer that's one of a kind. And the reason why is they come and go very fast. And if somebody, you know, if the advertiser decides that this offer is going to be paused for whatever reason, you want to be in a position that you can throw something similar in with ease. You don't want to have to recreate your entire follow-up sequence to promote something that's not even really related or even pay structure. Like if you have something, if you have a $45 CPS or a sale offer on the end of your follow-up sequence, and you know, it goes away, you end up getting another offer, but this one's $150 to your customer, it's going to be a problem. You know, like you've already been working your campaign and your list has been optimized for a $45 sale. A higher payout is probably going to cause a bit of a problem and lower your conversion rate. Sometimes it doesn't. I mean, these are things that you can test as you go. It's not bad to have a higher ticketed item. Maybe that will convert just as well and you'll make more money. But again, you don't want to be in that position where you have no choice and it turns out that it doesn't work and you're stuck nowhere. So try to find something that is a fairly like skincare, for example. I know I've been using that example, but there's so many similar skincare products out there. They're pretty much like copy and paste. People just put different labels on the products, and you know, if one does die, it's not hard to find another. So this is literally what you need through and through. And I'm going to go through each step and show you how you should be implementing it in which order. So step one, you're going to choose a niche. This is the very first thing you're going to do. Do some niche research and find something that you feel you can work with. Focus on evergreen niches for longevity and scalability, like I mentioned earlier. So that is the number one thing. I know sometimes you get excited and you want to start putting all these other pieces together. Trust me when I say that you want to get your niche research done in the very beginning. If you're new to niche research, you can jump into Powerhouse Affiliate. We have plenty of content on choosing a niche and what to look for and what to avoid. Your step two is to find a CPA offer for that niche. Focus on something that is CPS instead of lead gen. And the reason why I say that is you're basically, like, any lead gen offer is designed to sell them something down the line. And if you're creating an opt-in page, you're already going through that process. Why take that data and sell it again to somebody else via lead gen and then have them make that sale? You may as well make the sale. I would highly recommend having some type of CPS at the end versus having a lead gen or anything related to that. I'm sure there's somebody that can come along and say, no, Bill, you're wrong because I put this lead gen here and it works great. And I'm sure there's many scenarios where that happens. But in general, you may as well go for the sale. You're building the trust with your list. You know, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to just go for the sale. And again, straight sale offers can be harder to convert, but with our trust building follow-up email sequence, it will be significantly easier to get the sale. Step three, you got to get your domain and your hosting. So you're going to find a domain that's related to your niche and will be suitable for a blog. And like I mentioned before, you don't want to put like buyskincarenow.com. You want to have something that's not going to put them on the radar or put them I guess you could say on edge where they think that there's a sale occurring. You want to get that trust factor up by providing valuable content. So even like skincaredaily.com, anything related to your niche that kind of implies that you can come here and read, and it's not like we're trying to sell you something off the bat. So at that point, you're going to purchase hosting. So you have your domain, you're going to need your hosting, and you're going to want to install WordPress. I guess you could do this later on in the steps, but I would, as soon as you can get your domain set up, purchased, get your hosting set up, and install a blank WordPress theme just to have it said and done. Step 4 is to get your PLR content. So you're going to search the web, find a PLR provider with content related to your niche. You're going to need an ebook as well as follow-up emails. And again, if you're not writing them yourself, go out and look and start buying. They are fairly inexpensive and will be needed to be edited slightly to match your blog brand and product. And that's another thing too. Like if you do buy an ebook, you do want to take whatever logo or name you have for your blog and watermark it, different things like that. You want it to look like it's coming from your blog and your brand, and it's not some third-party thing that's not related to you. So you do have some editing to do. One way or another, you need to have ebook as a carrot to dangle for the opt-in, and you need your follow-up sequence. Step 5 is your blog content. So create blog content related to your niche or hire someone else to do it for you. The key here is to provide valuable content, so you do not want to rush. Excuse me, I'm going to read that again. The key here is to provide valuable content, so you do not want to rush, and so you do not want to rush through this step. The better content you have, the greater the trust factor becomes before you make your sales pitch. So if you're not knowledgeable about your niche, there's guys on Fiverr you can pay next to nothing, and they will create blog content for you. There's plenty of other means out there to get blog content, but it's something that you do not want to skimp on. You want to have great, rich content that is valuable to your list. Step 6 is your opt-in pages. So at this point, you should have your blog set up on your domain. You have your CPA offer. You have everything that you need. And at this point, you need your opt-in pages to start list building. So you're going to create your opt-in pages that you'll use to capture emails to build your list. Optimize Prest is a great program to build opt-in pages. If you're not confident in your ability to build a decent page, outsource the project to someone who has the experience. So again, if marketing's your thing and content creation is not, find somebody who can do it for you. And again, it is not super expensive just for blog content. Or sorry, for your opt-in pages. All right, so create a thank you page that the user will see after their opt-in. So you want to set this up as a sales page to your CPA product. Some users will buy immediately after opt-in, others will later after viewing content from your follow-up. So this is what I had mentioned earlier. Immediately after the opt-in, you do want to have a thank you page available. And next step will be your mail client. So you're going to sign up with a mailing client like MailChimp or Aweber, set up your email follow-up sequence, and schedule your auto-respond emails. Now, Joey and I were talking about this earlier on what's a good time frame to start sending emails. Do you want to send 2 emails every day to your list? Do you want to send them once a day? Do you want to send them once every 2 days? Do you want to wait a week? And there's really not any clear, concise way of doing it. Some guys like to hammer the list really heavy, fast, and then lay off. Other guys like to be very gradual in introducing different content and things. The idea is not to aggravate your list and cause them to opt out and leave. So you may want to test a few things. Looking at the way that Joey had it set up in that screenshot I had shown you, I think it was roughly every day, and then it kind of went into every 2 days at certain points. So, that he may be able to go more aggressive with that, but we do know that if you go at that pace, you're not going to make your list upset and they're not going to opt out. Joey's had a fairly good retention rate with his list. So paid ads and traffic. So this is where you're going to set up some ads in your traffic source to promote your free ebook. Create various ads with different angles. Test multiple opt-in pages to find out which produces the best opt-in rate and the lowest lead cost. So this is the ad side of it. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but some images that are related to your niche. More or less just like anybody that's interested in skincare tips. We have this great ebook. I mean, you're going to have to create a little bit of an ad copy and a pitch for it. But yeah, I mean, from there, your ads are going to go directly to your opt-in. After they've opted in, they're going to hit your thank you. They'll be sent an email for your ebook. And through your ebook, you're going to have some other CPA links. Maybe they'll buy, maybe they won't. And then from there on out, you're going to build your trust over time with your content, and some of the sales emails that you're going to send. So that is essentially it, other than analyzing and optimizing. So once you've gathered some data, you need to determine where things can be improved, like your opt-in rate or your click-through rate on your opt-in page, your cost per lead, your follow-up open rate, like I had shown you and Joey had mentioned, and the click-through rating conversion rate on your CPA offer. So you really can't determine on what you're going to do in this step until you've actually purchased some traffic, you've gotten them through your opt-in page, and you know, they're actually going through your email sequence. So once you have that data, it is time to analyze, optimize, and get as cheap leads as possible or emails as possible, and try to maximize your open rate within your email list. And in turn, you should have a decent conversion rate when you finally do pitch them your CPA offer. So now I want to talk about a case study. Excuse me. So Joey has been working on a case study over the past, I'd say, roughly 3 to 4 weeks now, and we've actually seen some really, really good results. Now, if you've been a current member of Powerhouse Affiliate, you've already seen the first 2 parts to this. Joey has done them via webinar, and they are available inside the premium section of Powerhouse Affiliate. But there's been a big turning point, I guess you could say, within his case study. And I can't say too much, but I will tell you that he is going to be going live with part 3 on Friday, May 3rd. And yeah, guys, like everything that I've just detailed to you guys, he has done, and he's done it very, very well. And not only that, he's actually dove into a niche that is super, 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 super hard to crack within Facebook. A lot of times, like, he's doing keto weight losses. You guys have seen if you've been following the webinars and the case study. And in order to get something live and profitable on Facebook with weight loss, it is excruciating hard. So he was able to do it with not too many setbacks. He did have some compliance issues, but he's there. He has a wonderful blog set up with great content. You've seen some of the open rates that he's done with other things. He's going to show you the open rates that he's had with his follow-up sequence, and he has CPA offers converting in that list. So I mean, this is really a dream come true if you're trying to get into list building and having the authority brand. And one thing I didn't quite cover, but Joey's going to cover fairly heavily within his webinar and his case study, is having AdSense on your blog. So like I mentioned, you're going to have a lot of content rich stuff on your blog. Now, throwing AdSense up there, if you do it properly and you have a big enough list, you should be able to recoup a significant percentage of your costs for traffic for your opt-in to begin with. So, you know, Joey will get into some AdSense. I've seen some crazy numbers that he pulls a month just by this simple trick that he's shown me. And I think you guys will have a lot of great success with it. Now, if you guys don't already have access or you have not seen any of this case study, I highly suggest you get in there and look. And if you're not already in there, you can join Powerhouse Affiliate. I'm going to give you guys a deal today. It's $37 today only. It's typically $47 a month. But if you're watching this webinar and if you're not already a premium member, you can use the promo code webinar19, and that will knock $10 off your first month. And again, guys, like, you get in there, there's so much content. You're going to be able to catch up and look and see how Joey has built his list through the diet niche. You're going to be able to see what he does next with it. And with all the resources we have available, there's no reason why you guys can't come in and replicate what he's done. So, and if you're new to Powerhouse, you've never heard of it, you don't know anything about us, I want to give you guys an idea of what it is and what Powerhouse Affiliate members actually get. So you're going to get over 100 hours of proven training broken down into several courses, comprehensive action plan built by us to get you started immediately, weekly webinars and access to our past webinars. You're going to get follow-along campaigns and case studies done by us, showing us spending our money and showing our results. Success or fail, you have the data there to learn from. You get full access to our private CPA network. You don't have to chase offers. You don't have to wait for approvals from these CPA networks you've never had the chance to work with before. We have an in-house CPA network that is designed specifically for Powerhouse Affiliate Premium members only. And any offer you see out there, it doesn't matter where it is, there's a good chance that Joey or I can track it down and we will upload it for you inside the private CPA network. You're going to get full access to our private affiliate forum. This is where a lot of the magic happens. There's a lot of text case studies. Other members within our community are there sharing their experiences and their data and different things that have happened. And a lot of times it's great if you need help. Like, you know, like we're here as well as the staff of Powerhouse to give you anything you need. But a lot of times there's guys in there with very unique information and they share a lot of it with other members. So it's a real no-brainer as far as having access to that form and understanding the value. You get full access to our landing page template library. So if you're not good at designing landing pages, you don't have a lot of money to throw in to start hiring people to design pages for you, we have a full library and it's updated weekly with new landing pages. So definitely take advantage of that and get in there and look at what's available. And something tells me there might be some opt-in pages in there very, very, very soon. And you never know, it might save you some money instead of having to pay somebody to do it if you're going to build this extremely profitable list building thing that Joey's put together. So landing page studio builder, we have our own page builder. So you've seen things like ClickFunnels and OptimizePress. We've set one up in-house and it is available for premium members. And of course, free hosting for all your websites. So that's also included as members. You're going to get live coaching from real affiliates, and that's not just included within the forum. That's me and Joey, as well as some other people. And you're also able to get into our Facebook group and see some action going on there. So let's look at the total value that we provide to our members. The training is easily $5,000. We're talking 20 years combined experience between Joey and myself. Follow-along campaigns and case studies. A lot of these guys out there are selling these courses that show what they've been doing via case studies for anywhere between $1,000 to $5,000. So we're looking at like easily a $2,000 plus value. The affiliate forum, if you look at some of the others out there, STM, AF Playbook, you're paying $100 a month essentially to get in there, and there's nowhere near as much content and value, I guess you could say, within theirs compared to ours. We've had members come from those communities and tell us specifically that ours is much better. Landing page templates, like I mentioned, designing those is going to break your bank if you're new and you don't have the right context. So with us, of course, having these landing pages in there, having the library, having new ones added all the time, we're looking at 2,500 easy in design, and obviously, and the more we add, that is only going to increase. Our landing page studio, if you're looking at ClickFunnels or any of those other builders, $100 a month, easy. Ours is there as well. So hosting costs, $20 a month. You could probably get cheaper if you're looking at a smaller package, $13.99, $10.99, whatever. That's included. So that's, we would value that at $20 a month. And of course, live support from proven super affiliates. So if you're going to get on the phone with somebody that has had the experience and know how to generate 6 and 7 figures a year, they're not going to do it for free, and it's going to be costly. I've had coaching that's been $200 an hour. You're going to have that available within Powerhouse. So $9,500 in material, roughly $216 in monthly recurring fees, $1,000 plus of coaching, $47 a month, Powerhouse affiliate only. And of course, today I'm giving it to you for $37 today only. Webinar 19 is the promo code. Make sure you go to powerhouseaffiliate.com/special and enter the promo code webinar 19. Now, if none of that excites you, one thing you should be excited for, and if it's the only reason you sign up for Powerhouse today, great. It's the fact that Joey has a working, profitable campaign that he is fully sharing with everybody. A lot of people are going to want to get their teeth in this. And if that doesn't excite you, know that we have a contest coming, and we're taking 2 members of Powerhouse Affiliate to Affiliate Summit East with us. We're going to bring you guys into the biggest trade show for affiliate marketing in the world, and we're going to show you guys exactly how to network and how to meet the people that are going to help I guess broaden your experience and your horizons within affiliate marketing. We're going to pay for your flights and your hotel. You're going to get one-on-one time with us, and I'm sure Joey's going to buy you a nice dinner as well. So if you're not a member already, get in there, powerhouseaffiliate.com/special. You get access to everything that I've listed as far as content. You're getting access to Joey's profitable list building Facebook campaign, and on top of that, you're going to have a chance to come and visit with us at Affiliate Summit East in New York City, August 11th through 13th. So I'm probably talking way too much. Anybody got any questions at this point? I don't see too many as of yet.
Nothing that hasn't already been covered. Thanks, Bill. That's actually a really good presentation. And yeah, I'm actually looking. Oh, can you turn off your mic for a second?
Sorry.
I'm actually looking forward to yeah, next week's presentation. I think it's next week anyway. There are conversions coming in, and we we have over 100 and something now leads coming. And I've actually increased the budget, so I'm going to start seeing a lot more coming in daily now. And so on the last presentation, we showed some of the challenges that were faced during the list building for diet on Facebook, because a lot of the challenges were around setting up diet ads, and the ad moderators would automatically kind of, you know, I guess ban or deny the ads, disapprove them. And after a couple of weeks of, you know, going back and forth with Facebook, I was able to get everything approved, and now it's running smoothly. So that's actually a great example, but it's not the only example either. We do have a full course as well inside Powerhouse on how to build lists. We go into depth on the actual messaging and what we use to do messaging, how to set up your autoresponder, how to set up funnels, because affiliates are generally setting up funnels themselves. Most of the time, when we hear funnels, we think it's a product owner that needs to own the funnel in order to take advantage of the idea of what a funnel is, right? The funnel itself, we have one. There's a course inside Powerhouse called CPA, I believe CPA Cash Vault, or one of them anyway. It's a third or fourth course in week 3, and it goes in depth on this. This funnel, and I mean, you get instant access to it now if you're a member. But inside, it would basically show you the actual funnel that we use. It's a very simple funnel. It's nothing crazy. There's other funnels out there, and they work. And if you're an affiliate and you're only sending traffic to a landing page and you're not collecting any data, you're not collecting emails, or you're not even warming up a pixel for Google or Facebook or anything like that, then you're really, you know, you're not doing affiliate marketing properly. If you're not building something long term, and you're not building a list, or, you know, taking advantage and building funnels and ways to collect data, then you're really doing yourself a disservice in the end. So that is why I guess we push a lot on affiliate marketing with email, and we build lists, but in the grand scheme, there's buying traffic. You send it to a landing page, you get conversions. We do that. And there's another webinar inside Powerhouse that shows how I do that without building a list up front, but also putting a pop under or something like that has a squeeze page built in, so that the landing page also collects data that way. So there's different ways to do it. There's always a way to get that email, and that is what takes you know, a regular affiliate to a super affiliate, is having the advantage and the competitive advantage to be able to buy more traffic, because they're making more money on their back end, and that's why they're able to bid higher and get more traffic. But yeah, I guess I just wanted to make sure everyone knew that there's actually more about affiliate marketing with email marketing and setting up campaigns and stuff. not just the Facebook campaign. There's other stuff in there as well. So I rambled on enough, and I think it's Friday afternoon. I don't see any. Oh, I do see a question here. One sec. Let me just read the question short.
What she's asking is if she's a bit like, I got a question here about if they can get a promo code if they want to refer their friends to Powerhouse Affiliate. And you absolutely can. If you have other friends that want to join this community, we can get you a referral link where you can get them a discount for their first month. The way to go about that is to open up a help desk ticket with us, Regina. Send us an email or send us a ticket, and I will get you set up with a promo code and a referral link as soon as I can.
And also, I'll be, or actually, I think Bill is creating a newsletter for today. The weekly newsletter is coming out, but it's also going to contain information about the upcoming contest. Well, actually, the contest starts today once the message is sent out. There'll be information about that for the people that do want to participate in that, and all of the details will be in there. There are prizes, there's cash prizes and stuff like that too, and all of the information is in there. But also, if you're a premium member, you get access to our, I guess, promotional tools to help you spread the word about Powerhouse Affiliate and our training. And all of that will be tracked inside of your members area as usual. And you'll be able to see, so not only are you winning prizes and coming with us, you know, to New York and stuff, but you're also earning residual 50% commissions just by referring people into our program and, you know, showing people that there is real training out there related to affiliate marketing. And it is a real business, and it's never going to die. So let's just, I guess, finish with that. And there will be some more information coming out today. So thanks a lot, Bill, for the presentation today, and we'll stand by for your email today. Thanks.